Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my man who likes to be frank. It's Frank. How are you today?
I come to you from antiquity. I come to you from 2,700 years ago, 3,500 years ago. I don't know how many years ago. I've lost track.
That was
Like,
2,700 years ago. That is definitely not correct. Yes. 30,
however many it is.
that sounds right. I don't know. Not really counting. I'm not
Many thousands of your years have
good.
passed
Indeed.
since I first heard this story. But I come to you, bearing it to you in hopes that you would enjoy it. Also, this beer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Frank, what's fascinating here is that what we're doing, talking to each other,
Hmm.
via our friendship and over space time, if you will, because that's
Sure.
actually what's happening. We are
Yes.
bending space time to our will
Mhm.
by talking to each other through the internet. Um, we're just sharing stories, man. That's what we do. We share stories over the millennia, and we're still doing it, just like Homer. Uh, Simpson? No, regular Homer.
Hmm.
Just like share, one word.
Exactly.
Like Claw, like the bad guy from Inspector Gadget. Doesn't need anything.
Mhm.
Just Claw.
Exactly. Just, yeah.
Anyway, Frank, we both saw the Odyssey. It took me a while.
Mhm.
It took me actually a long time because I was determined to see the Odyssey in IMAX 70 millimeter,
Mhm.
uh, because I live 15 minutes from one of the 25 theaters in the country that allows me to do that. And by gosh, I was going to get tickets, and
Absolutely.
I had to buy tickets 2 weeks in advance to get there. If I didn't want to sit in the nosebleed, which I'm glad I did not do that because I would not have been able to take this movie. Well,
Mm.
looking up at it like I was a Peanuts character and it was snowing
Sure.
outside. Yeah. Like, um, so anyway, so we're here talking about the Odyssey. You saw it a couple of weeks ago. I saw it mere days ago, so
Uh-huh.
it'll be a little fresher for me than for you. But that's okay. The story is thousands of years old, as we alluded to. So spoilers right from the beginning. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
It's a 3,500-year-old story. What do you like? No,
yeah.
yeah.
There was I saw a tweet a while ago that was um uh somebody racking on the movie, and they said naming Telemachus's mentor, good job, Nolan. And
Yes.
somebody was like, well, that's the etymology of the word mentor. That's where it comes from this story. And the guy's response was, it came out 2 days ago.
Yes. I
Yeah.
saw that.
Like, oh no. Oh
What a
no.
good. Oh, I mean, I interpreted that as a troll and thought it was like such a good troll.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, yeah. Yeah, you know
I
what the worst part is,
I
though?
hope it
It
was a troll.
could be a troll. I wish it was a troll. It could very well not be a troll,
Yeah.
which hurts me. It cuts
Yeah.
me deep. Um, Not that you have to know that, but know that the Odyssey is thousands of years old. Know it. Know that.
Please know that.
No, it's not thousands of years old. My beer.
Mm.
And I hope not yours. I know you like to drink old beer from your fridge sometimes that
What,
like,
like the
hey, this is
one
in the back.
like the beer that I let age for a year from last summer? What, like that?
Correct. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so anyway, what are you drinking today?
You know, just as Homer would would gather the people to tell a story, to recite his epic poem, the Italians gather every Sunday for a thing we call Sunday dinner, and with that comes Sunday sauce. Uh,
Nice.
I am back on the sauce with the Stoneface Brewing Company. This is their Italian style Pilsner. It is a rather hoppy Pilsner. I think I've said that before, but I actually enjoy it quite a bit. They don't have the whole fun description thing that some beers do, but it's a lovely. It does have that sort of Peroni, um, or that sort of that flavor, but add almost IPA level of hops.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's got a sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a kick to it.
It's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Hmm.
that combination of flavors, that malt that you're used to from like an Italian Pilsner like that. Um, yeah. So
Cool.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
love it.
what do you got?
I love that for you. I am celebrating Tom Holland's second $1 billion movie this summer,
Nice.
with another Bero because there was a pack of them. But everyone drank them in my house except for me. So this was,
Ah,
yeah, we had guests. Whatever. I'm not going to deny people good beer, non-alcoholic beer. So I'm
sure.
on my last Bero, which I can't actually flip upside down this time because the can is open, but it is a
Mhm.
Kingston Golden Pills,
Nice.
this style, and it's very good.
Right
It's very
on.
good. Just like Tom Holland's acting skills, Frank. It's very
Very
good.
much. Yes. Yes. He is
Very
having a year. He is having a year.
Yeah, he's having a
Uh,
year, Zendaya's having a year. That's just
exactly.
Zendaya. Is that what's Zendaya? I get
It
it
is
wrong.
Zendaya is my understanding. Yeah. We do
Anne
have some other
Hathaway's
business.
having a year too. I'm sorry, actually,
She
because
is
Devil Wears Prada is one of the highest grossing films of the year. So Devil Wears Prada 2, I should
too.
say.
Yeah.
So she's also having a year. So like good on all of them, baby. Yeah.
Sure.
They just
Good for
like
them.
fuel in the box office and then come together and they're like, we're gonna make a good movie, everybody. Here we go.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. John Barenthal also having a good year.
Yes.
Also his
Yes.
second $1 billion movie of the year.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really, yeah. All these folks are just having, they knew what was up. Their 2026 like bingo card was, no, dance card is what I meant. All right. Anyway, draft card? No.
Mhm.
So we do have some other business to attend to first, though.
Yeah, we do. We haven't done this in weeks, Frank, but I
Yeah.
don't care. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was ready because it's been weeks. He finally turned into Superman. He like shed
Yes.
Clark Kent outfit, turned into Superman. Haven't opened the book in weeks. So
Right.
here we go. Lois and Clark, a Superman novel. C.J. Cherry. Um, my daughter did find this book the other day. Remember how I said the cover's like weirdly spicy,
Oh,
right?
yes.
With Clark's hand on Lois's thigh and his
Yep.
shirt basically all the way open. So it's been here sitting on my desk. And the other day she like comes over, flips it open. She was like, "What's this?" It's a Superman book. And she was like, "Oh, who's that?" I said, "That's Lois." She's like, "I don't like her hair." And I said, "All right, great." Like, if that's the worst thing you're noticing about that cover, then
And
fantastic.
fine.
Yeah, but anyway,
It
moral
was
of the
the
story.
90s.
Moral of the story. I'm going to take off the cover. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
fair. Yeah.
it's going. It's actually going.
Bye bye. Dust jacket.
I okay. So there is an earthquake to
Yes. Okay.
remind everyone. Um, he jumped out of the Daily Planet faster still. He goes up the earthquake. Um, imminent danger somewhere. Okay, and we're back to the Daily Planet. Okay.
Cool.
A cup of coffee cooled on Clark's desk. Lois thought nothing of it for 10, 15 minutes. Clark might have had a dozen reasons for walking away. 16 minutes, however, was at least reason to notice. 17 was reason to look around the office and wonder whether Clark was in conference with Perry in his office or on some other phone. 20 was reason to conclude something was unusual. It was 10:30 or thereabouts. Clark had left his computer running. That said he meant to come back. Ordinarily, it said so. And the copy machine was fixed. Ron reported it to the office. He wasn't tied up there. A quarter of, and Jimmy Olsen stopped by to ask where Clark was. She used to be put off by the excuses. Now she made them up for him. Oh, around. The simplest ones were the best, followed by diversion. I've got to get this article written. It's thrilling, all about the garbage strike. You going out to lunch? Pastrami on rye if you're going to make it a deli run. I don't know. Clearly, that wasn't Jimmy's hope. There's awnings most of the way to Fogarty's. It's wet out there. Have you noticed? The sky's falling. I've got an umbrella. Sure, sure. Look, have you got an assignment? Nothing's doing yet. Good. Put on her brightest grin and leaned her chin on folded hands, classic Deb pose. Hot mustard. Hold the pickle. Jimmy knew when he was being ragged. Maybe Ron's game for a swim. Oh, okay. I'll think about it. She'd worn the moderately practical shoes because of the weather, but if it was an expedition, she had a pair of tennies in her back she could change into. She had a big special dinner coming. That was the real consideration. So was Clark's unscheduled absence. I'll stop there because it's just going to keep going with uh about sandwiches for a while apparently.
Okay. Well, I
Okay.
look forward to sandwich talk next time.
Sandwich talk. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a good Lois and I don't have a good Jimmy. When you're reading and you're like, I can do that voice. I could do that
Totally.
character.
Yes.
I can't. Don't.
Yep.
I have nope. Those are not ones that are in me. Yeah.
That's fair.
Hey, that
That's
is
fine. You know what?
okay. Just don't want to make
That's
Jimmy nasally. I don't want to do that. That's not Jimmy's not nasally.
sure.
You know. He's like, yeah,
No.
okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna do, but also I'm reading Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. So I'm like in my mind, I'm thinking of Terry Hatcher. And it's
Yeah,
not like
right.
I can't do Lois. I can't do Terry Hatcher doing Lois.
Right. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that.
Yeah. I could definitely do Dean Cain doing Superman when we get there.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah. You totally
it's a
can.
lot
Yes.
of this, a lot of this movement with your head that will
With your
come out
head. Yeah.
in voice. Yeah, right. Yeah. Um, but anyway, Frank, let's talk the Odyssey
All
for
right.
a little while. You're familiar with the Odyssey, I imagine, in some ways. Before we talk about the movie, what was your first exposure to the story of the Odyssey?
I was trying to remember because it all kind of blends together. It was something on PBS. That I know for sure.
Bone? Was it Wishbone?
It it may have been Wishbone. It might have been. I remember there was a show. I don't know if you remember this. It was a short-lived show called Adventures from the Book of Virtues.
Oh, no, you've talked about it, but I don't
Have
remember
I?
the show. Yep.
And anyway, it was a cartoon series.
It's not a great title, but
No, horrible title, terrible
yeah.
title.
Mhm.
But they would do like I remember the story of the Minotaur, knowing it from that series, and maybe the Trojan horse too. Different thing, but like it basically was little stories and things from mythology and history and um. Anyway, I knew it from that. I knew it from Wishbone. Um, I know those two for sure. And then I actually there was another one that I'm is escaping me. But different pieces of the Odyssey. Uh, I definitely. Oh, I think I had maybe a cartoon film of it as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot of the Odyssey.
yeah. I had like at least 3 or 4 different media that had some pieces of the Odyssey in some form or fashion. So yeah, I had quite a bit of exposure as a kid. But what about you?
I think Wishbone was probably my first exposure to it. The Odyssey episode of Wishbone, which was awesome. It was one of the first episodes actually, because they like made a batch of 12 that was in there, like first go around, I think, or a batch of 6, and pretty sure the Odyssey was in one of them. Was one of
Cool.
them. Um, and then I would say it was either that or the TV miniseries with Armand Assante.
Asante?
Yeah, with Armand Assante. That was which I actually watched last year. It's on Amazon Prime. So my wife
Nice.
and I watched it last year just for kicks, just to see. We went through like I think we watched Merlin with
Mm,
Sam Neill and it so then it like was like, oh, you must love all these other TV movies from the
sure.
90s. Uh
Obviously.
Obviously. So we watched the Odyssey one and it was equal parts pretty good and hilarious at the same time. Like like the whole thing they like so it's not told in the order that the film is told in, which is actually a little bit more poem accurate than
Yes.
than the miniseries. Um but the uh like Telemachus leaves Ithaca to go to Menelaus's palace
Mm.
and in Sparta. And when he gets to Sparta, they don't call him Telemachus anymore. He gets there and they're like, Telemachus is here. And I can't unhear Telemachus. Like, no matter. So, like, the whole time Tom Holland was on screen and they were like, Telemachus. I was like, Telemachus. Yeah. Just
That
like,
is
it's
such
in
a
my head.
crime.
Yeah, it is a crime.
Telling
Telemachus.
Bacchus is a crime.
Yeah. Telemachus. Great name. Noble of like rich spirit. Like,
Like, Mr.
Telemachus.
Macus was my father. Call me Telly.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that's those that was probably my two exposures, and we definitely read some of it in high school. I
I'm sorry,
remember
one
reading
more. I'm sorry, I have one more. If they did the Odyssey on Sesame Street, Telly, the Muppet Telly, would be totally
absolutely.
magnificent. All right, sorry.
Speaking of that,
Proceed.
crime that there's never been Muppet the Odyssey.
I'm sure there has been at some. It's
Are you
in
telling me that
60 years.
Miss Piggy as Cersei has not occurred?
I,
Like,
I can't tell
like
you that it hasn't
it
happened.
writes itself. It's right
It
there.
truly does. It truly
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it's right there. But anyway, although she could also be Calypso because it like
I actually, I
yeah,
actually thought of Calypso first. Yeah.
yeah, because it like she like lures him in, right?
Right.
If
Right.
obviously if Kermit
Yeah.
is
Exactly. Exactly.
right,
Yes.
yeah, but she could also be Penelope too. That she's just at home,
Yes.
like ready to throw down with all the suitors. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Right. 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 Yeah.
writes itself. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
It really does. Wow. Yeah. It really does.
yeah. So anyway, um, we definitely read parts of it in high school.
Uh huh.
Um, and I read Emily Wilson's translation, which is the translation that this movie is most heavily based on, a couple years ago, which is very good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and but if that's not your style, it's read by Claire Danes, who is if you listen to the
Oh, nice.
audiobook, which is also pretty good. But Robert Robert Fagel's translation, which is the one
Mhm.
that came before this, was read by Ian McKellen. Uh,
That's hard to pass up.
which is pretty awesome. Yeah. So anyway, so if you're in the market to be like, oh, is it like the poem? Like, is the movie like the poem? Then and you don't want to read it, which is very readable, by the way. I think people get, it's like
They get
Shakespeare.
intimidated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people get intimidated, but like you can definitely read it. It's not that hard. Especially with a good footnote. Like if you don't know who like all the gods and stuff are, what it doesn't matter. Just kind of keep
Yeah.
floating through. And
Yeah.
just need to know who Zeus is, Poseidon, and Artemis. No, Athena. I would say Athena. Yeah.
Athena, yeah. You know what I did do before seeing the film was I listened to a two-part podcast. I'll link it in the show notes if anyone's interested. Um, the rest is history, which is a phenomenal history podcast. Did a 2 episode breakdown of the history of the Odyssey, but they also went through the entire story
Oh,
and just sort of
cool.
stepped through it, just sort of to summarize it. Um, so it was a great refresher for me, like of just all the pieces and how each of the each story is sort of connected to the next, right? At each piece of the story, all the different stops that Odysseus makes along the way, all that kind of stuff. Because there were disparate parts that I remember, right? I'm like, I remember the undoing the tapestry every night, and like, but what was the like
Point of the tapestry.
yeah, right,
Like,
like right,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. And I was like, and I know the Trojan horse is in there, but where?
Yeah.
And
Right. And
anyway,
technically it's not in there at all,
well, it's
right?
in the Iliad, but yeah,
Iliad, yeah. Although I was talking to somebody who saw the movie before me who, had actually had it, never read it, didn't know anything about it. And so I said, how was it? He's like, it was a wild ride. He's like, I loved it. I was tired by the end of it. But
hmm,
you just when you don't know, and all of a sudden they're on the island and they're turning to pigs, and you're like, what is happening? But he said, I guess they took some parts from the Aeneid, and I was like, the Aeneid? Why would they do that? That's about Rome. That doesn't make any sense. And that was in my head the whole time
hmm,
watching this movie. So at the end, I was like, he meant the
he
Iliad.
meant the Iliad, yeah,
Yeah, totally meant the Iliad. But that's
yeah.
okay. Whatever. It's all good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But anyway, um,
Although I did hear, I think there was one character who was changed, or at least their name was changed to a name of a character from the Aeneid.
oh, interesting.
I
Okay.
did read that somewhere, but I feel like the person you spoke to probably meant the Iliad.
I think yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, I don't know though. It's been a long time since I've said I read the first two books of the Odyssey, just
Uh,
like kind of to be like, I wonder how similar the beginning is and whatever. And it's I almost call it verbatim. It's not verbatim, but it's like kind of beat for beat, which I
mm,
found really cool. it set a good vibe. Like, it just like I think the Odyssey itself can feel a little adventure centric, and now we're on the island with the giant and or with the Cyclops, and now we're on the island with the Lystragonians, and now we're on the island with Cersei and whatever. And I felt that the the sequence of the film, it, was smartly done. So every time they like ended up somewhere, it didn't feel like an adventure. It felt like a roadblock, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
Like you could the through line truly was the Odyssey home, right?
Hmm.
I just love that you don't really think about it because it's so old and whatever. But I just love that like the book's name is The Quest,
Yeah.
basically, or whatever, and the hero of the story's name is Quester. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is like right in there in the title. Yeah,
Right.
this is Frank and he likes to be Frank. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Right. Right. Yes.
yeah. It's you know what's
Is,
gonna happen
is it
to him.
nominative determinism? Right. Like your name was Quester. Like now you're stuck on this quest.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. 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 So, but I liked that every it's difficult to every stop feel like it has a purpose, and it folds in somewhere into Odysseus's journey. And so like the his whole act of like taking him on the island with Calypso and him not remembering, which is in the story, and then turning that like him telling her in order to remember, and the faults and failures that he has, and why he doesn't want to return home because he broke the world. And I loved that. I think it to take one of the world's greatest stories and add a layer to it
Hmm.
that that feels natural and that feels natural and I guess important is too strong a word, but universal at the same time, like telling a universal story and making it even more universal, but
Hmm.
still making it so centric to the story at the same time. It was just like that was just I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah.
just yeah, this movie came out weeks ago, and it took me weeks to see it. And like movies are overhyped, right? People are like, it's so good, you can't see it. And then you watch it, and you're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good, whatever. I walked out of this movie going, no, it was as good as people hyped, and
Hmm.
I just couldn't get over that because that doesn't happen ever, right? Um, so what it would have been like to have it not been hyped into me to watch this film, it just would have been something. Yeah. Right?
I that is sometimes you hit me uh with insights or just observations that I it's hard to follow. So I'm gonna pivot to I use my one lookup,
Oh,
and it's Elliot Page's character,
okay.
Sinon.
Yep.
That name comes from the Aeneid. I'm sorry. Yes, it's from the Aeneid. From the
Neat.
Aeneid. From the
Okay.
Aeneid. From
All
Virgil's
right.
Aeneid. Yes.
I felt
Um,
it's funny that you said that because their character was the one that was like, it's probably them. I couldn't remember the name.
yeah.
But I didn't remember that character at all or like that being a thing. I just like
Hmm.
kind of remember the horse being left and they weren't there. I didn't remember somebody dying.
Right.
So yeah. So that makes so is that character they just changed the name or they added that character from the Aeneid?
I'm not sure. Well, it's not the. It looks like they only took the name because the Sinon in the Aeneid is this like cunning, deceitful. Oh, you know what? Okay, cunning, deceitful Greek soldier who was deliberately left behind on the shores of Troy. So this is a character in the Aeneid who is supposed to have been in the Odyssey,
Gotcha.
not
Okay.
mentioned in the Odyssey, but it
Added
exists in the
later.
Aeneid as
Yeah.
a like he was in the Odyssey. Um, so that's interesting. But he was a deceitful character in the Aeneid, but obviously that was not the character that we saw. It wasn't like a um, wasn't the same kind of deceitful what's like sort of prankster or whatever
Yeah. Okay.
that this sounds like. This
Yeah,
sounds like a
this was sad. It's
Yes.
sad.
Yes.
It
Yes.
also made, um, Robert Pattinson's character, whose name I cannot remember, like,
Oh, yeah.
just made the suitor or him particularly as the suitor even worse because
Oh, yeah.
he Odysseus sees himself as the villain of the story in a lot of ways.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what? His story actually reminded me of what Dave Filoni said about Luke Skywalker and Frodo. Okay, which because they're all in the same vein, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
the hero mold.
Right.
But he says that there are some characters who just cannot, they cannot return home. And not that they don't, like you look at the hero's journey, right? They start off one way and they go on the adventure and blah, 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 and they return home, but they are a different person by the time that they've returned home. But some characters have to keep going past that home because the burden that they have taken on their adventure, on their quest, on their journey, whatever, is too great for them just to return home and it all be the same. And for them to just continue on living and so Odysseus setting off for the west because that's where they go. They chase the sun before it's setting, right? So that
Mhm.
he's basically chasing death, right? You know, like the sun is setting. That's the symbol, right? You know, so like his time is over. So he's chasing his own like glorious death or death before it comes on his own terms instead of the
Mm.
terms of somebody else like Agamemnon
Mhm.
or
Or the
Walls
gods.
of Troy or the gods or right, exactly, or whatever. This is his own chance to feel his own fate before he goes to Hades himself. Um, but that's what Dave Filoni says about Frodo. Like when Frodo returns to the Shire, he his burden has been too great. He just cannot return to his normal life. And then that's what Dave says of what happens to Luke too. The burden that Luke has
Right.
taken on for the galaxy is just too big for him to be like, "Yep, and now I'm married and I have kids and life is just like I thought it would be because now I'm a Jedi." And life so very rarely turns out as you think it's going to. And especially for those who take on these heavy burdens. And for Odysseus, the heavy burden is um, that Zeus's law no longer exists. Basically, he broke the god's law that you are to be kind and courteous and peace to those in front of you, and it's a little, to the stranger or whatever. And and they just they broke that with the Trojan horse, and so now anybody can do that.
Mhm.
It's like America and the atomic bomb. Like you dropped a bomb on two cities with a bunch of civilians and killed millions of people. Now anybody can do that.
Mhm.
Before that was unthinkable, but now anybody can because you did it, right? It's that over again, which is funny because that's what Nolan's last movie was about. Right? It's just like
Mhm.
the
Literally that.
literally is literally what it was about.
Literally that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, not metaphorically. That's actually
Right.
what it is about. And so it's like in a lot of ways, that's what his Dark Knight trilogy is about too. Like, like once you open this can of worms, you can't undo it. And
The
then so
Joker happens, Bane happens, like
right,
this
exactly.
yeah.
So this thing happens. So like what are the repercussions of you doing this thing? In some ways, Interstellar is very much like that. It's,
Yeah.
or the repercussions of the world, not fix like, polluting the world. And now you have to deal with those repercussions. And so that's a running theme in his movies, it turns out.
Yeah.
The Prestige, you could actually look at the Prestige that way too, right? Should the changing of magic, and once you change it that way, what are the repercussions of change?
Okay.
That seems to be what he's very interested in. Wow, I could write a whole paper on this, Frank. Just
See,
throwing it
this
out
is it.
there.
This is the yeah, exactly. I one day I will go through the Beer with Geek archives of almost 600 episodes and pick out all these moments where you found some thesis that could be a book of its own, and we'll do something with that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If only there was some type of device that would help us do that. Yeah, a
I don't know
computer
what you're talking
perhaps. Yeah, a computer, right?
about.
That would help us. Yes. maybe a
Maybe,
Macintosh
perhaps,
of some kind. Uh,
perhaps, perhaps,
perhaps,
perhaps.
perhaps. But anyway, that's I just I really like that because that parallels very well with Telemachus in his kind of stationary journey in some way, his stationary journey upward. That he's just he is he thinks he's ready, but he's not. Just like any kid, right? Like, no, I can
Right.
do that. Like, no, I can't. No, you can't. And because Penelope understands that he can't, but she also understands herself that she's just as broken as
Yeah.
Odysseus is.
Yep.
They're two halves of the same coin, right? No,
Yeah, which was a very, very interesting. Penelope was very like very developed as a character, right? And really, really, um, I really love what they gave Anne Hathaway to work with. Honestly, I feel like she was given a great part, and she did an amazing job with it.
it's funny that sometimes in Hathaway, I feel like she's acting. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
some actors, I don't feel like you're being a character. I feel like you are acting your lines technically quite proficiently, but I don't believe you as a character. I did not feel that way about her as Penelope. Uh,
sure,
yeah, I do feel like that way about her as Catwoman, and even her in
okay,
Interstellar. Like I just don't connect with her in those roles in the way that she delivers them. This one I did. I really felt there was excellent eye acting as as Bond.
sure,
And
yes, yes, yes,
I
yeah.
was just
No, I agree with that.
I was really taken with pretty much everybody's performance. Even uh, I thought the scenes with Tom Holland and John Barenthal uh, were absolutely terrific. And oh gosh, what's her name? Oh, how embarrassing! Who plays Helen of Troy? Um,
Oh, Lupita Nyong'o.
thank you. I just she was just terrific in the three
Yeah,
seconds she was on screen. You know,
so like such a shame that that character is such a small part of this story.
it is, but also how much weight she brings to her scenes in such
Yes.
a huge way. It reminded me quite a lot of Dame Judi Dench in Shakespeare in Love when she
Oh,
plays totally
interesting.
different kind of role. But Judi Dench was nominated, I think, won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for Shakespeare in Love. She plays Queen Elizabeth I. She's on screen for like 7 minutes in
Hmm.
total, maybe even less. I don't know the exact numbers. Like she's barely there. She doesn't really
Hmm.
say anything most of the movie. Um, and so, but her impact is felt because every syllable is so perfectly crafted and believed that I just because Helen of Troy, the face that lost 1,000 ships, she like said, "Tell Odysseus, tell your father I'm sorry, or tell your mother, whatever like whatever she says," because like it is kind of her fault. You can
Hmm.
blame Agamemnon if you want, but like her decision to leave with Paris is the whole thing that sets this whole thing off. And what I really appreciate, the Odyssey does not talk down to his audience at
No,
all.
it's true. It's true. It does not. It was legitimately. I was like, if I had not done that, the rest is history refresher. I would be a little bit lost as to where we are in the story and the sort of the time jumping and stuff that happens, which I understand is the way it actually is told in
Yes,
the
and
poem,
yeah,
like the kind of yeah.
yeah. I think
Um,
if you I guess so, because actually I reading those first 2 books, because actually the books start with the gods in kind of a, like, council of some kind,
uh-huh.
and it's like, and Athena is like, she decides to go down to Telemachus to tell him to go to Menelaus and Sparta, and so, like, that old beggar that comes in at the beginning of the movie, and Telemachus is like, "Zeus's law, it could be the gods in disguise." It is actually
It
Athena in
is
disguise, and, you don't get that in the movie at all. It's just a
right.
bigger because it hammers home Zeus's law, but those in the know, like, that actually is Athena, who shows up that way, which I love, but, like, the thing with the, what's it called? The what's she weaving? Quilt?
They
The
called it. I remember it being a tapestry, but she called it a shroud.
Okay. Yep. Like it doesn't explain to you why she's doing that or why it's important that she undoes it every night and that Robert Pattinson, whose name I cannot remember, why he notices and why
Hmm.
that's a bad thing. And I just, this was a movie built on no small, my wife and I always say, like, whenever you see like an actor who has like one line that is memorable, you're like, no small parts. Like that guy
Right, right,
understood
right.
she understood what to do and everything. And that this whole movie was everyone understanding the assignment and like
Yeah,
just being happy to be there because they get to be in a Christopher Nolan movie. And I don't care if I have 10 lines, they're going to be the best lines I've ever delivered in my career.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like they were all there to say that stories are really important. And this is one of the most important stories of human history
Hmm.
and we believe that and here is this film and you could feel that in the editing, in the production design, in the music, in everything. I just yeah, it was cool.
It
um
was super cool to see a filmmaker like uh,
Christopher Nolan.
Nolan, to see him take this on, to take on, like so so interesting that like he can do anything, right? Like he could tell any story he wants to tell, and it will expose it to an audience that would never have seen it, right? And
Right.
for him to have chosen like one of the classics,
Hmm.
um, and be like, I want to use my influence to tell this story and to retell this story and to show what a great story this is, and how fresh it still is today,
Hmm.
and meaningful and applicable it is. Um, yeah, like it's just I love that that's what he went for instead of I don't know anything else. Just about anything else. I love that someone was like, how like the classics are worth looking at. Like this stuff is like human
Yeah.
humanity's heritage, like and it's
Yeah.
important.
And he's like dallied in some of these things before his like own versions of what he considers
Yes, yes.
classics in a lot of
Like
ways.
he's retold tales, sort of in his own films,
Hmm.
but to literally do an adaptation of one,
Yep.
I I just love that he did that.
Right, because you could watch like Dark Knight Rises, and it's tale part. A lot of it is Tale of Two Cities, and so that's like an exposure to that
Right.
style of story without that being it. But all of a sudden, he like transitioned into, I guess, with Oppenheimer. I guess like with like the focus is this is important, and you should know about it. Like
Yeah.
like that seems to be what he is really going for. This is important and you should know about it. Like before like these themes are important, these ideas, these concepts, these are all important things. They make good movies, they make enjoyable films, whatever. But after Tenet and then to Oppenheimer, he shifted into I need to educate you as an audience. You need to know these things and you're going to have a great time while doing it. Um but that seems to be what he's going for while he's sipping his tea, Christopher Nolan.
While he sips his tea. Yeah. Let's talk about the cast because it was bonkers.
Mhm.
There were so many people who I didn't realize were in it. I as I have been doing, I didn't watch a ton of promo for this movie, so I didn't realize Charlize Theron's in this. Like I was just
Sure.
so tickled at so many faces as they came up. Um, I thought Himesh Patel was incredible. I love that
So
guy.
I I haven't seen him in something since yesterday. That movie
Oh,
that not Danny McBride.
the
Boy.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the
Yeah.
movie where everyone forgets the Beatles but him. That's the
Yes.
last thing I saw him in, which I liked that movie. I'm sorry, everybody who hates that movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
I
it's
like those too.
yeah, I kinda liked it.
Yeah.
He's great. What else has he been in?
Station 11. Station 11 on,
Right.
I think,
Okay.
HBO.
HBO. I did not watch. I read the book, which is excellent. I did not
Oh
read.
yeah,
I did not watch
it's
the series.
the show is outstanding, and he was just incredible in it, and I was just so happy when I saw his face. I loved how much of him there was. Um, yeah, I was a big fan. We talked about Pattinson and Anne Hathaway and um, gosh, who else?
So there was Tom Holland, John Barenthal, um, Elliot Page. You want to talk about small parts?
Yeah, right.
With impact. Lupita Nyong'o, um, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway. Oh, Mia Goth.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. Very, very briefly. I'll go again, small part, huge impact on the story. Like, yeah, we're gonna be there, you know?
right.
Um, gosh. Oh, Zendaya, obviously.
Obviously.
It's one of those parts. It's funny when she says almost nothing the whole movie. She is so good at just being there, just
Hmm.
being on screen and
Hmm.
acting with yeah, she's just the best. Um
Hmm.
and and obviously Matt Damon. We haven't spoken about Matt Damon as Odysseus at all. But sometimes I feel like Matt Damon plays Matt Damon.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
really didn't get that this time around. I got, you know, he just he was hard and cold and wanted his heart to feel again. John Leguizamo was
Hmm.
was uh was was in it, was excellent. Charlie
Yes, he was.
Stone.
He was another one I didn't know was in it, and at first I was like, that guy feels like John Leguizamo, but it can't be. So
Hmm.
who? No, oh wow, it is. Like I was like, no, I just he must just look like him. That's all it is. And then he was on screen again. And I was like, no, damn, that's him.
I feel like you've made it when you're in a Christopher Nolan movie.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, you're good. Like not just like run of the mill good. Like you're one of the creams, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I just like good for John Leguizamo
Right. Yeah.
being there at this point in his career, and he's like, no, I'm actually good. Everybody, you know,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
yeah, I'm actually really good.
He
I
was
want to
great.
actually speaking of good, I want to give props to Robert Pattinson, who I already knew is a very good actor,
Mhm.
but I love his willingness to be gross.
Oh.
You know, he is he's a handsome man. He's very talented. He could easily be the person who just is always handsome and
Mm.
always the hero and always and instead he's like, I'm gonna be the worst. And like there's just something about how he can change his face to be like, look, I'm handsome. And then over
Mm.
here, he just opens his mouth and you're like, oh, why are you gross? Like you're you're not you're not a good person and I don't like
Very
you.
unsettling.
Very
It's very
unsettling.
unsettling. Yeah.
Yeah. He was just in a lot of ways it's Robert De Niro, but more handsome. Robert De Niro
Sure.
can just he could do anything, but he could just be
Except be handsome.
if you
A
yeah,
more handsome De Niro, that would
I'm
be,
more
yeah,
handsome. I'm
sure.
trying to think of a good example. Um, not Orson Welles. Marlon Brando is actually
Okay.
a great example of that. I mean, he got gross just because he got weird. In a lot of ways, but
True.
his willingness to just like to do a thing and like not be the hero of the story. Daniel Day Lewis,
Mm.
right? I'm just
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
he's just at just at another caliber of performance. Even Tom Holland, who like was playing the young, I got to prove myself, which I've seen Tom Holland play before, but not as well as this. Even
This
like,
was yeah, this was I agree. This was a really good performance from him.
yeah, even his American accent is different in this film than it
It
is
was different,
in
right?
right. His voice is different. It was a little nasalier and like, but it was still him. But he was, yeah, it was, yeah. It's
He
just,
was not Peter Parker though.
no, he wasn't. No, and I had just literally seen him in Peter Parker not days before, and I say, you are a totally different person." Um, I just, I yeah, the whole thing, and I just how much practicalness was in the film. It's one of those, like, it's
Mm.
gonna age
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
Even, like, things like camera shift, like the shifting trees to in the Lystrogonian island to cage them in, that was just all some really nifty, cool camera tricks. Um,
There was some really, who remind me the, like, the silver giants,
Lystrogonians, yeah.
Lystronians. So, yeah, they were 7 foot tall actors, and, the,
Are you making this up or is this real? Because I
no,
don't
I'm
know.
serious.
Like,
This is what he did. He cast
no,
7 foot tall actors as Lystronians, and then Odysseus and his crew were 5 foot tall stunt actors. And they shot it at such a perspective that the 5 foot, actors versus the 7 foot actors, it just looked like that
nice.
that giant. So like that's all done in camera. Those are just
Well,
actors
it's
of with a
for
big
yeah,
height disparity shot at the
forced
right angle.
yeah, so it's just forced
Forced
perspective
perspective.
plus some height disparity. Cool.
Right.
Like, just cool.
Cool.
Yeah, good stuff. Like, you're gonna watch this movie in 50 years and be like, "Still looks good.
That's
Still
gonna
looks
look
great."
just as good. Yeah.
Yeah, it will always continue to look great.
Hmm.
Um, my friend, Tim had sent this before. I wanna say the movie only has, like, 900 special effect shots in the whole film, which is, like,
That's
nuts.
not very. I mean, most movies have thousands of shots.
Yeah, hold on, I'll actually use my one lookup for this. How many special effects shots were in, Avengers Endgame, let's say? You
Sure.
know, like
Sure.
like,
That's gonna be yeah.
so Avengers Endgame, uh, featured 2,496 visual effects shot out of a total of 2,698 shots in total.
So 90% of the 90% plus of the movie has
Yeah,
is
200
is
shots were not special
right
effects.
out of
200
2600.
out of
Yeah,
out of 2,600. Right. And meanwhile, the Odyssey, uh, with the Odysseys, were
yeah,
only
900 effect shots.
yeah, that had apparently, I can't confirm
Yeah,
that, but,
sure, 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 sure. Yeah, fair enough.
but, had only
But if that's true, yeah,
yeah,
that's incredible.
I'm sure I
That's
could,
incredible.
find it if I looked hard enough, but either way, that's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah, that's remarkable.
Favorite scene in the movie, was there or a favorite island? Did you, like, enjoy one island more than another one?
I huh. I liked can't remember now, but when they got turned to pigs. Can't remember the character's name.
Cersei's island.
Cersei, thank
Yeah,
you. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite too. It
Mm.
was gross and uncomfortable, and the
It was
practical effects of turning them into pigs was just
so good.
stellar. Mhm.
So good.
Yep. Just truthfully, also some excellent editing. That's why I said this. I was impressed with
Yes.
the editing just as much as I was with the cinematography or the
Mhm.
music or anything. And normally editing is not something that I flag. A good editing is that you've watched the movie and you
You
didn't
don't
even
notice it.
realize it was edited,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And but this one, because there were so many shots that I knew were practical and like that, like what they were hiding and how they were hiding it and the pace of the story and how they were telling it. I was just very clicked in
Mm.
to to the editing, and I was just blown away by what I watched and how they assembled this movie.
Yeah, it was very, very well put together.
Yeah, and but Cersei's
Um,
Island was the one that really cinched that for me, just the way she would move from face to face, and it would go back to here, and she'd pull this thing out and over here, and then even turning them back where she was, like, petting, and it's a pig, and then all of a sudden it's
yeah.
back, and it's a pig, and it's just, yeah. She was the only person actually in, like, the whole movie that I was like, "Who dat? Who's that actress?"
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know her. I didn't know her either.
yeah. I already
Yeah,
used my
but
lookup, so we won't know. We'll
we'll
never
never know.
we'll
We'll never
never
know.
know.
No, no.
I thought it was I thought it was somebody that I knew, and I can't remember the actress's name. She was in Red Dragon, if that's helpful to anybody. And so, I thought it was her. And after like after she like goes back into her home and stuff, oh no, that's definitely not her.
Uh,
It's like one of those like you're in a Christopher Nolan movie. You like made it. You've
right,
transcended, yeah,
right,
like to a whole other plane of existence over here.
completely. It's a whole other level. Like yeah, that's the kind of thing that when I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this actor was this caliber, or like, wow, they have a good agent, you know. Like,
Mhm.
if
Yeah,
yeah, um, I was also thinking like it's such an interesting, like I felt like not Cersei,
Calypso.
Calypso's island. If I didn't know who Calypso is and what the story is of how he ended up there and what was what he was doing there, I don't think I would have left understanding any of that.
It's
Like,
funny you say that, Frank, because apart from her name,
yeah,
and that he's there for a long time, have no recollection of who she is or why she's there. And I didn't question it either
okay,
because
interesting.
the film sets up all these different islands that are not on
Hmm.
the trade route. Like I'm not following Agamemnon, I'm not followed that guy long enough.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
But I because it sets up like, okay, you're on the Cyclops' island,
yep,
and then you're on Cersei's island, and then you're on the Lystrigonian island, and the Sirens, and all these things. The Sirens one was very good.
that
That
was
was
very good. Yeah,
um, but the so by the time like you're kind of like you're spending a lot of time with Cersei and everything. You're just kind of like you're just another island because it doesn't bother to explain the
true,
Lystrigonians to you
true.
either. It's
Right,
just like one
that's true.
more
That's true.
thing on an island. The only one that really gets explained to you barely is the Cyclops, where he's
Yeah,
like
yeah, barely. Yeah,
Titan, and that's pretty much it.
I so Calypso's whole deal is that he's basically like a sex slave for her,
Yep, that I
for the whole
yeah,
time that he's, and that I feel like wasn't really.
which is
I don't
fine.
think that came
Truthfully, I
across
don't
at
care.
all.
This movie was
I mean,
like
I
PG
guess
apart from the blood.
I
Like yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would not call it PG, but
I said apart from the
apart
blood.
from the
Yeah.
blood, but that's yeah, that's what's interesting. Yeah. Um. Anyway, I felt like that was if I hadn't known, I would probably have been pretty confused by that. But I don't know. Um.
So like why is she on the island? She's like she can't leave the island. She's cursed there for some reason, right?
That yes, that I can't. It's not, a reason that I can't remember. It involves an Athena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's yeah, whatever. I could look it up, but I won't. I mean, I'll look it
I,
up after this, but I'm not gonna break
well, we
Zeus's law.
already used one lookup.
The Zeus's law of beer with geeks.
Zeus's law, exactly. One lookup
Yeah.
is Zeus's law.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a is there a is there a Greek god or goddess that has anything to do with looking things up? I don't know. Hestia, Hermes, the messenger god. Like you can only look up one thing. I don't know. But I did hear a while ago that Robert Downey Jr. turned down the role of Poseidon in this movie to be Doctor Doom.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was like way back when he was like cast as Doctor Doom. They were like, "Oh, he
Sure.
turned
Sure.
down," which was because Poseidon wasn't in the film at all. The only god that you actually physically see, is Athena. Um,
Right.
the you Zeus is in the thunder and whatever, and Poseidon is in the storms and whatever, but you never see any of them otherwise. So I'm curious, the like kind of the placement of that because it wouldn't have been a large role by any stretch of the imagination. Because
It couldn't
arguably
be.
the only large roles in this movie are Odysseus himself, Telemachus, arguably Robert Pattinson, and Penelope. They're kind of
Right.
your 4 leads. And then maybe John Leguizamo after that, but oh, and Hamish Patel, actually, I would say.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah, but it's really Odysseus and Telemachus. They're kind of the 2 central leads of the story, I think, and, yes, I don't know, I didn't, I I'm glad he's Doctor Doom, if that's weird, like, you know? Yeah, not something I've said out loud yet, but I think I'd rather have him as Doctor Doom than Poseidon. I just the flow of the movie really worked for me that because the only god that's, like, actively on Odysseus's side is Athena, and
Athena, yeah.
Zeus is kinda backing Athena, but enough that you don't need to see anybody but Athena. I thought that was pretty powerful. I enjoyed it.
Extremely, extremely powerful. Um, that the reveal too of her, like of where her face comes from, like, oh, just just
Wait, remind
like
what? Say that again? I don't, remind the pin
that
you're talking about?
Zendaya, hmm?
Good.
Zendaya being Athena, but like not really being Athena, just being the face of that girl from Troy,
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
right?
Okay, yeah, mhm. I had forgotten about
Um, okay, yeah, that really struck me of like, oh my god, this whole time he's been seeing this random girl who he watched get slaughtered in Troy and stuck like burned an image in his eyes. He's been seeing that face
that. Mhm.
coming to him as Athena.
Yep,
That's like that was really impactful for me.
yep.
Like that what a really encapsulates the whole his whole like experience and his whole the whole thing that's eating away at him.
Mhm.
Um very much like Oppenheimer. Somebody on YouTube pointed out, are you familiar with Christopher Nolan's brother? Not not not
Jonathan Nolan?
not the brother he makes movies with. Their third brother,
The
who
secret 3rd Nolan brother? What?
there's a third Nolan brother who is like I think allegedly connected allegedly with a very brutal murder. And um then when you look at things like The Prestige and Oppenheimer and the Odyssey, and you look at it through that lens of like these people who are dealing with like guilt or people with like the high body count in the Prestige. Um, Somebody just sort of pointed that out of like when once you have this context that this is something that's happened in his family that like impacted him in a big way. It's like, huh, is he telling all of those stories? Is he trying to grapple with that in some way? Is he trying to
Yes,
explore, right? Like
yes.
he's exploring what it's like to have
This goes
the
back
kind
to
of guilt
my
you can't.
right, that goes back to my thing earlier about, like, he's telling stories about consequences. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, so yeah, because like, Inception is a story about consequences too, like, like, the
Yeah, big
consequences of
time.
staying in the dream, and then what do you do about that afterwards? And, like, the family and this and that, so, yeah. I haven't seen Memento in a hot second, but I'd be
Same,
curious.
but yeah, I'd be curious.
Yeah, and I guess it all depends, like, I don't know when it happened or anything, like, did it happen when he was making
I
Insomnia
think
or
I don't.
post
I
post
don't know.
Insomnia? Yeah, who knows? But, oh, yeah, wow, I did not know any of that. That's so sad. That's
Yes, extremely sad.
but, uh, yeah, absolutely, I can see I'm a big fan as critical theory is concerned, like,
Mhm.
studying film and whatever else, of authorship. I don't
Mhm.
always hold true to that for it's funny, I don't always hold true to that for books. So, but I do think that there really is something to that with filmmakers. Like look at Tim Burton or whatever, like, friggin every single movie Tim Burton has made, even the biggest budget ones to the smallest ones, they're always about something that's inside him,
Yes.
always. And Christopher Nolan seems to be more about that than you might think once you start to
Yeah.
put those films together
Uh
from a
huh.
particular angle. Yeah. Yeah,
See,
it just
another
makes
another thesis.
another yeah, I mean, oh, yeah, I can wrap it all in the into the same. And my mind is already organizing how like I would tell this, how I would write this, but I'm not going to, Frank, because children and jobs and
Yeah.
podcasts. So that's what the podcast is for. I got to say it all here
Uh-huh.
without citing any examples whatsoever, no
True.
citations, no MLA. So and here we are.
And here
But
we are.
I will think about it for a long time. Yeah, maybe I do want to write it before somebody else does.
Mm,
TM, it's mine, trademarked.
nice.
That's legally binding, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, my wife and I tonight we're talking about getting gifts for people like at the office and the job and
Uh,
whatever. And I came up with this gift of because she said like, oh, I'm going to get you a pillow to scream into, and so I'm gonna buy pillows that just say "scream here" on it.
That's good.
That's good, right? Yeah,
No
like
kidding.
that's a good gift. I could sell those on Etsy, no problem.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
For
TM,
sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's mine. You can't have it. Um, but I'm not going to sell them. If somebody wants my idea, you go for
Go
it.
for
Yeah. Um,
it.
but anything else you'd like to say about the Odyssey?
Ah, man, I'm sure there is, but like just what a it was a fast 3-hour movie. It it
Yes.
felt it
Yep.
felt it did not feel like, "Oh my god, when is this gonna be over?"
So
Um,
there's two stories about this, one for myself and one for somebody else, which I think is a great way of telling time in a film. My friend saw it. He says I have a very particular way of telling if a like rating a movie if it's good or not. When I see it in the movie theater, how many times did I notice that my seat is uncomfortable?
hmm,
Um, he said in the Odyssey, 2 times in a
mm,
3-hour movie. That's a very good movie.
right.
I only noticed twice that I was a little uncomfortable in my seat by the end of the movie. Um, that's a great rating system.
Yeah, really.
Definitely seen movies where I'm like, "Man, this seat, yeah, I'm in the seat." You could go in the other direction with nice movie theaters and be like, "How many times did I notice that my seat is comfortable or that I am
Mm,
sitting in a seat at all?"
right.
Um, I, um I looked at my watch at one
Yeah.
point in the film. It was movie started at 6 with the Dune preview because I saw it on IMAX. Movie
Mm,
started at, like, 6:10, let's say. I looked at my watch about 7:10 and I went, "Holy moly, it's only been an hour and all of
mm.
this has happened," and I didn't look at my watch the rest of the time.
Oh, wow.
Boom, just like because once it really goes, it goes. Yeah, yeah, it was just good. Part of that, maybe was the IMAX experience, like, every time because it's so big,
Right.
that, like,
Right.
every time there was a wide shot, I was like, "Grease, grease, 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 grease,
Yeah,
grease."
yeah.
I was just yeah, couldn't help but looking at the Aegean,
Ah,
in every corner,
I am so jealous you got to see it in 70 millimeter. It's
I thought you were gonna say
so,
Greece.
so
I
good.
was like, "Yes, you too can go to Greece, though, Frank." I mean,
Yeah,
technically, you too could go to 70
you
millimeter,
definitely could. Yes.
showy, but, actually, it'd be easier to get tickets to go to Greece than to see this movie.
Yeah, yes, it seems to be the case.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, you could see the film grain, like,
Uh,
crackle across the screen at certain points. It's just, like, so big, and, normally an IMAX movie, because the whole thing was filmed on IMAX camera, so normally it, like, shrinks, it goes
right,
back,
right, right,
shrinks,
right.
goes back. It just never did that. It was just so
Yeah.
big the whole time, and I was trying to explain to my wife, like, why that was a big deal because she was like, "Well, I can just watch it at home." She did not go, which I'm glad she didn't, because she's pregnant, and, she'd have gotten up to pee a lot, to,
Sure.
see this movie. It was also very loud. Baby would have been deaf by the end of it. Um, but, I she, like, "We can just watch the movie at home." I said, "Yeah, but never this way again." It's
Mhm,
like going in this way, it is like truly going to a concert or the theater to see a play. Like, you could see a filmed performance of the of the of the concert or the play or whatever,
mhm,
but but to see it in that size, in that ratio, I will
mhm.
never experience again because the ratio I'll watch on my TV is gonna be, 16:9 or
Yep.
whatever, however it's reformatted to fit my TV. And so I'm never gonna see the top of, like, Matt Damon's head in that point,
Right.
or, like, when it looks out at Greece and you can see all the way to Italy, like, I'm whatever, I'm never gonna see that.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Um, I'm never gonna see it just like that, and that's as close as I could get. Like, this is not the same caliber of movie, but, like, I never got to see I wanted to see Fantastic Four in IMAX
Hmm.
because Galactus was Galactus
Oh, right.
on the big screen. He wasn't cut off anywhere. Um, and and I just think like that I just wish that I could have seen I wish I could have seen that. Um,
I wish I could have seen this in that format. I'm very glad that you got like so cool that you live so close to
they're very yeah.
one of basically a handful of those theaters in the country, and yeah, so cool
And
that
it's a
you.
nice theater. It actually just got bought out by like a theater chain that's like doing
Oh,
really
really?
well. Apple Cinemas, not related to the company at all,
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
Um, but so like it was like brand new. The seats weren't new, but like brand new lobby and everything. It just made
Oh,
for
nice,
a very nice
nice.
experience. Um, the whole way through. I'm curious when the movie does get released, what aspect ratio I will watch on my
Yeah,
TV.
I that you got me wondering actually with that. Yeah, because like I
Because
assume 16:9, but it could be
well, it could be
235,
185. It could
yeah,
be 230. It could be 235. So, but
35.
like 235 would make sense for the scope of the film, the epicness of the thing.
That's what yeah,
But 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 the 70 millimeter IMAX,
right.
it's big, right? It's like almost like a box, like it's almost like 4:3. So
Yeah, right.
like I'm never gonna watch it with the black bars on the side. They would never let me.
No, right, right.
But I might like it in 185 because like the old thing is like 185 is for dinosaurs. Have you ever heard that?
Right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
you
you can
told me
like
that.
you can see the whole dinosaur in
Yeah,
185, but you can't in 235, and I kinda wanna see the whole Cyclops, or I wanna see the whole Lystragonian or whatever. You wouldn't get that in 235. You would get that in closer to that in 185 or 16:9, I guess. But
yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wonder, is that a I guess that's a Nolan decision, or is it a studio decision, like, when they release it?
I
I don't know.
feel like that's a Nolan decision,
Yeah, I mean,
personally.
I guess, you know what? I guess at when you're Nolan, anything can be a Nolan decision if you want it to be, right?
Well, one of the reasons that he hopped over to Universal in the first place, smell ya WB,
Right.
was because he basically has full creative control.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, "Just
Yeah.
make a movie, and
Right.
we'll give you the money." And he was like,
Right.
"Okay." And look how well that's worked out for them twice.
I know, right?
Like, and I think truth even though I'd never be able to watch it that way again, let's say it that means I had to go to the theater. It
Right.
makes going to the theater a must experience,
Yes.
which is good because it freaking costs $25 a ticket, so it
Right.
better be a must experience.
Mhm.
That's not
Mhm.
cheap. Like, I could have bought a hamburger and fries for that or whatever.
Sure.
So, uh, um, or in my case, just a few days ago, a lobster roll,
Oh,
Go
yeah, right.
yeah, right, go me. Um, so I think it would be smart for him not to release it in the original aspect ratio to be like, "Snooze, you lose, pal. You
Yeah.
gotta like, if you wanna see it the way that I want you to see it, you gotta go to the movie theater." Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
I mean, that's what Nolan wants, right? There's as Nolan intended. Um, but, like, he like, he and a number of other, Scorsese, a number of other filmmakers, like, really believe, like, coming to the theater is the way you should see this.
yes,
Um,
yes,
and so I think that's well, not I think. I mean, it's very obviously that's what he's doing, right? He's making these films that the best way to see it is to come put your butt in. The best way is one of these 25 theaters, but like but the theater is the preferred way to see it, period.
yep,
Um and I I there are some films that I just think are better seen on a big screen. I'm glad that I saw this on a big screen. If
mhm,
not IMAX, I'm glad that I at least went and saw it on a big screen. Um, I don't think it would have the same impact. I don't think I'd be like, Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was a retelling of the Odyssey. Like, I think that there is something to be said for like that whole experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, the one thing I will say about any Christopher Nolan film, but this one in IMAX, man, it was loud. Like, yeah, like, really
Yeah.
like, my sister brought her child's noise canceling headphones to stick them on her head because she was like, "I'm cool, but this is too loud." Like, I just, like, I don't need my seat rattling the whole time. Like, I saw somebody
Yeah.
like, I was talking to my friend Bobby, and he was like, "I think the 4D, like, whatever what the thing is, like, that would be awful for
Yeah.
this."
Right.
Like, it's just too much. I can't do it. It's too much. Um,
Funny because I've heard this from virtually everyone. That was not my experience. Like in my theater, it wasn't. It was loud, but I didn't feel like it was any louder than
yeah, it could just be an IMAX. It could be an IMAX thing because IMAX is loud. I mean,
it
like, the
is.
screen is
I've
loud.
heard almost everyone else I've spoken to said that though. So I think I'm the outlier. Is what it seems like.
Yeah. The benefit to it being loud is that when they are just talking, then I can hear them.
Yes.
Because I don't like this wave of acting where the microphones are so good, so they talk like this the whole time.
Yes.
My name is Tobias, and I'm looking for my dad, and my dad's coming back. And I'm like, "Good, speak up for those in the back,
Right.
please."
Right.
Like, I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
need you to be like you're in a play anymore, but like also
Right. But
like just like talk normal. Like,
right.
like
Just be
just
in a movie, please.
yeah, like I know you're in a movie. Like it's cool,
It's
man.
fine.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
This movie was windy too. I couldn't like I was like watching some of like the windy scenes and I was like, there's a lot of
Uh,
ADR going on in this movie.
oh, for sure. There was a ton of ADR in this movie. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like between the open water and like windy Sparta when they're like hunting quail or whatever. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's just that was there's some major wind in this movie.
Yep.
Winds of
Yep.
change, the winds of time, the winds of journeying. Yeah, it was a thing. It's on purpose. It's always on
Mhm.
purpose.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But Frank, we have spoken at a length we never speak of
Yeah, really.
on this podcast about films. We try to keep this to a clean 30, but truthfully,
There
the
was a lot
Odyssey
to
is
say.
yeah, the Odyssey is a journey, and I'm glad that we could take it separately, but also together.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Same, same, same. Always glad to take the journey with you. Always glad to take the journey with our listeners too. Um, and if they want to take a journey with us, they could go to bewrthegeeks.com to do that and see our whole back archive. And if you want to, if you want to help Tim uh, achieve his dream of being able to write all these essays and books and all these theses, then you can pay him to do that by going to patreon.com/audio and casting a few what's the Greek currency before the euro? I don't know, casting a few silver pieces his way, our way, to help fund that dream. But hey, subscribe, like, ring that bell, do all the things. No, do that. Find us on any podcast app, on YouTube, and anywhere that you get your podcast. You'll find us, and please rate and review us as well. Those are all the things you can do to help us out.
Hmm. All the things. It starts with a D, Frank. The Greek before the euro. The
Denary.
didn't. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, that could be it. I don't know if it is. I'm not looking it up. Frank, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.